open enrollment is around the corner. It comes up November 1st through December 15th every year. And half the people that I speak with in the insurance industry, or rather half the clients that I speak with, don't even know what the hell open enrollment even is. So I kind of wanted to touch on what is actually open enrollment. Okay, so a little bit of a backstory. Years ago, the insurance companies were denying so many people health care because they were simply too unhealthy, and the insurance companies did not look at them as profitable. So the government comes in and steps in and says, hey, insurance companies, you have to insure everybody now. Doesn't matter their pre-existing conditions, doesn't matter their medications, you have to insure them. Basically, that's when Obamacare became introduced. Well, what the insurance companies did was they said, okay, well, Mr. Obama, since you're gonna make us insure everybody, what we're gonna do is we're going to introduce smaller restricted networks such as HMOs, which are health maintenance organizations, and EPOs, which are exclusive provider organizations. They're much smaller restricted networks where the insurance company basically has all the power on who you can go and see. It's usually doctors right out of college or doctors about to retire. It's not the doctors that you really want to go and see. The doctors that you want to go and see are usually the PPOs, the preferred provider organizations that are usually nationwide. And that's what insurance companies were basically not letting certain people have, and they kind of had all the power. So I see what the government was trying to do. They were trying to come in and give the power back to the people and offer everybody health care. It was a huge healthcare reform years ago. Well, what happened was that basically all of the private insurance companies that were offering private PPO plans where you could customize them, that basically went away. And the government said, all you can do is go through open enrollment. You have one time a year. If you don't get coverage at this point in time, you're going to get penalized. And all these different laws were put into place. Now, over the course of the years, there was one company that actually fought the government and took them to court, and it's called Manhattan Life. And none of the other private insurance companies wanted to take the government to court. They were scared. They were like, nope, you're on your own with this one. Well, they actually won. And when they won, private PPO plans started being introduced again where you could get insurance throughout the year, especially small business owners, self-employed individuals, individuals that work for smaller companies where it didn't offer benefits. That were relatively healthy, they could then go and customize their plans outside of open enrollment. But for a few years, this didn't happen. So a lot of people still have that mindset. First of all, there's a lot of people that don't even know what open enrollment is still. But there's also a lot of people that think open enrollment is the only time that you can get health insurance. And that's just simply not the case. So basically, when Manhattan Life won that a few years later, they basically beat Obamacare, and we were able to then offer clients insurance outside of open enrollment. It allowed everybody to be able to still have access, whether you needed open enrollment because you had major pre-existing conditions and you needed to, and you wanted a government to kick in and give you a subsidy, which is great. I think Obamacare, AKA the Affordable Care Act, is still a great thing. It still helps families because it helps those that maybe can't help themselves and were born with pre-existing conditions and need certain medications that are just absolutely ridiculously expensive. If they try to pay for them on their own, it gives them an opportunity to have health insurance. Okay, so it's a great thing. But I think it's also a great thing that there are private insurance companies where you can customize your plan, where if you don't need maternity coverage, you don't have to get it. If you don't need drug and alcohol rehab, you don't have to get it. If you don't need high-grade pharmaceuticals, you don't have to pay for it. If you don't need mental health, you don't have to pay for it. See, on Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act was introduced. There are specific things that every single plan has, meaning it's guaranteed insurability. Whether you're sick, unhealthy, healthy, they approve everybody. Okay, on private insurance, they don't have to approve everybody. Now, having these options allows for everybody to still have access to health care, but also for those that are want to customize their plan, they have the opportunity to do that. And then for those that have the pre-existings, that have the medications, they also have an opportunity to get into a plan during open enrollment. That's what open enrollment is. From November 1st through December 15th, they have the opportunity to get in, and if their income qualifies, get a government subsidy, a discount, and get into a plan of their liking. There are a lot of options. However, they are the smaller restricted networks. But the cool part is, since now that you have private PPO insurance and it's fully customizable, you can now add supplemental coverage to an Obamacare plan, which allows you to have PPO supplemental as well as an HMO Obamacare plan to double protect you, even if you have to go the Obamacare route. So there is an option for everybody. Do not think that there is not an option for you. That's also why it's important to speak to a broker that has access to both private and both public marketplace. And I mean all carriers. A lot of agents out there are going to tell you that they have access to every plan in the state when they actually work for one company. You want to be careful with that, because what happens is they're going to push you into a product that might not fit your needs, that might not solve every problem that you've had in the past with healthcare. The healthcare industry is still broken. You have doctors that want to raise their rates because insurance companies are wanting better negotiated rates. So it's a never-ending battle between the doctors and the insurance companies, and the people who are getting the shaft is who? Us, okay? So what we do as full-service brokers, and this is any full service broker. I own a company called Insurance Elevated, and we have about 50 agents that all specialize in everything, both private and public, to help guide you in the right direction. But it's important to know that speaking to someone with the right experience, with the right expertise to guide you in the right direction is always going to put you in power. If you allow anybody to put you into any plan without them understanding what you truly need, the insurance company and the doctors will still have the power. That's not what you want. We don't expect you to know everything about health insurance. That's why you need to reach out to experts that have your best interests in mind, because then we can quickly listen to your problems, listen to maybe your medical history, what your family and loved ones need, and then we build and we put our heads together and we build the right plans together, maybe 2 or 3 options to where you can choose. And from there, we become your brokers for life. You don't like the plan 6 months later, we can then find you a new plan and get you right into something that maybe will make you happier. Regardless, we're here to help. DM us, reach out, no problem. No obligation, free consultations.